Welcome back to the Squatwolf podcast. Today I'm hosting the lovely Laura. So I just want to say thank you for jumping on. And
Thank
can
you
you
for having me.
introduce? Oh, you're very welcome. Can you introduce yourself?
Yes, so hello, I'm Laura. So I am a part-time fitness freak, part-time digital transformation expert, and full-time Squatwolf athlete. And I'm happy to be here.
It's been an absolute pleasure to have you. So I just want to dig in a little bit deeper just to get a greater understanding as to when your fitness journey actually began.
Okay, so right when it started, I want to say I was 3 years old because my parents come from a very athletic fitness background. So I kind of grew up with that. But if we want to focus on when I started gymming and weightlifting, I would say almost a decade ago.
Let's separate the two here because I'm like 3 years of age.
Yeah.
What happened when you were 3 years of age?
So I started doing gymnastics and taekwondo and swimming and dancing. And, like as a kid, your parents just want to put you in everything to kind of figure out where you want to see yourself. And I stuck to gymnastics and taekwondo. And then eventually, when I hit my growth spurt, I stopped that. And then I'm like, okay, I think I need to start building a bit of muscle. I need to kind of tone up a little bit because I was very tall and very skinny. And then cue gym entrance almost 10 years ago. And then the rest is history, and I'm here today.
How important do you think it is to start kids off young in the fitness industry though?
It's so important. I feel like because I was athletic growing up, it helped me kind of be more open to exploring different workouts, different routines, and just being active in general. I feel like it's so important because as a kid, you have so much energy. And if you don't channel that into physical activities, it might end up into you just jumping off the bed or just running around with no purpose. So I feel like it helps build that routine very early on. And I mean, it's a very nice way to mingle outside of school. I mean, you meet so many different people and you start to kind of evolve and learn more about yourself.
What do you think
Athletically.
fitness does then, even as a kid, to be participating in sports? What do you think it does for their confidence?
It really, really shapes that personality. I mean, at first you're kind of like, what am I doing here? I don't know. Like, I don't know anyone, I don't know what to do. But then once you get familiar with it, once you get comfortable, it really does build that character. You, one, learn discipline, which I think is very important because it does lead on to your life later on. But also it gives you that firm belief of like, you can do this, and you really push yourself through it. You fight towards achieving something in your routine, whether it's track or gymnastics or boxing. So being able to understand that I want to achieve this specific thing in this fitness world, you kind of learn that early on and you take it with you. And also not just your gym life, but your personal life, your work life. It kind of builds that persona, let's say.
Yeah, I think it's a really beautiful scenario when children go out to play sports, but at the beginning
Yeah.
they hold on to their parents' leg, and then sometimes then they won't even attach themselves to their parents' leg after 1 hour.
Yeah, exactly.
So when you're a child, obviously there's a little bit of a disjoint because I think when people go through their teenage years, they're less likely to kind of do sports, or sometimes they get kind of caught up in other things. So how do you feel in terms of like the confidence gap that when you're a child you might become confident in sports, and then when you stop sports, how do you manage to push that confidence back into adult life to continue on to do sports? What would you do?
It's funny that you mentioned that because I feel like that's also something I personally face as an adult now. I mean, if I had a phase where I stopped training for a while because, I don't know, life happened or I just got lazy, I feel like that step to get back into it kind of causes like a bit of a anxiety of like, okay, I need to get back there. Whether, let's say you're going into a new gym or a new workout class, you will feel like, okay, it's new, I don't know anyone there, how am I going to take that step? So that first step when you're out of that routine, really, I feel like it's like a nice leap of faith to kind of be like, okay, you can do this and go. And then once you're there, you're there. But as a teenager, I feel like it's the same situation, because at least when I'm jumping into a new environment, regardless what it is, my first feeling is like, okay, what is it going to be like? Can I do this? And then once you push yourself, you obviously have to get into it.
I think as a child then, if you have that evidence to show that you can do all these sports, you can be super active, it's like your support file for when you're an adult, then to be able to bridge that gap in between then feeling super intimidated when you first enter the gym or you first start a new sport. But I think naturally as a human being anyway, regardless, you're always going to have that little bit of anxiety when you start anything new, and that's natural. And I think that's really important to put an emphasis on that for new gym goers or even females entering the gym that's a male dominant environment, for instance, that it's okay to actually feel that kind of anticipation, nerves, and feel a little bit intimidated. I want to kind of pull back to your first day at the gym, in the gym, and how did that experience unfold?
Okay, let's go back. So the first feeling that is forever engraved in my memory is that feeling of uncertainty, confusion, and a bit of a fear factor, I want to say, because one, I've never been in a gym before, at least with equipment. I don't know how to use the equipment. I don't know where to go, what to use for what. And I mean, back then I was also very young, so I was like this small little person entering this gym with like bodybuilders and a lot of aggressive looking people. So it was a bit scary. I mean, I tried to kind of familiarize myself with where everything was, know who the trainers were, and kind of try to ask them to be like, I want to try to do 1, 2, 3. What is your advice? But I feel like it was a very big step to kind of courage up and be like, okay, yalla, you're going to go to the gym now, you can do it. And with time, it got easier. But that first moment was it was a new feeling, because I'd always, like, when I do my workouts or my classes when I was younger, like, my mom would take me to the gym and she would sit there and watch me. So if I felt uncomfortable, I'd just look over and my mom's right there, so I'd feel fine. But as an adult, I'm not going to take my mom with me to the gym. So I have to, like, just go and I'm, like, on a mission, and I just go and I start, and it gets better. I mean, but that first step you owe it to yourself to do, because you do want to achieve an idea in your mind, or you have a goal you're working towards. So I personally don't feel like that fear that I would feel in a new gym or a new class or any new experience, I don't let that fear overtake the goal that I'm working towards.
I think it's really important to build your goal bigger than your fears.
Yes.
When it comes to the first step, when you're going to take action to start your fitness journey or go to a new gym. And when your goal is so big, it makes your fears that little bit smaller and digestible. What kind of tips would you give to someone who's entering the gym for the first time? A female specific.
A female,
from a female's perspective.
Honestly, I feel like the one thing that helped me is, I just wear my earphones. When I get to the gym, I know what I'm there to do, and I just have, like, this focused vision. Like, I walk in, I don't want to look at anybody, I don't want to talk to anyone. I just go there and I focus. And what really helps is knowing what you're going to do at the gym. So planning what your workout is going to be is going to make life easier, because let's say I want to go train back, for example. If I just go to the gym and I start looking around for, like, back equipment, that's going to also build up that, like, what am I doing here feeling. But once you are, okay, like, you're going to train, you're going to do lat pull down, you're going to do rows, you're going to do the cable machine or whatever it is, you know where you're going to go in the gym. So you don't need to pause and think. You're just on the go. So you get to the gym, you put your stuff, you put your earphones, and you go, you're focused on your workout, you do it, and you leave. So that's kind of my approach, just because, unless, you're going with somebody, which makes everything easier, you just work out together and it cools everything down. And if you have that option, then do that. If you don't, I feel like just focus, just having that focus is just so important. Like, focus, go there, get it done, and just think of how you're going to feel at the end of that workout, and you just go on from there.
So those 2 little tips that you've just given is just plan ahead.
Yeah.
And then number 2 is bring a gym buddy. It can make things that little bit easier, because it gives you that extra support. It's kind of like your mom, but not your mom.
Your mom, but as a friend. Exactly.
Or a friend. Yeah,
Exactly,
I think that's super important. But do you still experience gym intimidation even after your first couple of times you go?
100%. I mean, I don't know what it is, but it's just maybe that feeling of like, okay, I'm gonna go, I don't know who's gonna be there. Let's say in my case, if I were to change the gym that I'm usually going to, or if I'm going to try out a new class, or if I'm going at a time where I don't usually go, so it's like people that I'm not familiar with are gonna be around, first instinct is gonna be like, okay, shit, okay, I have to go to the gym right now. I don't know this new gym, or I don't know this, or whatever. Where am I gonna park my car? What do I do? Da-da-da-da. So all these thoughts still go into my mind when I'm there, but again, I try to put them aside, and I try to focus and, okay, are you gonna stay home and not work out because you don't want to go to the gym? No. I mean, some days, yes, that might be my option because I'm just not feeling the gym, but khalas, when you have, I'm personally someone, if I have a goal that I need to go get it done, I will go get it done. Like, fear, no fear, whatever it is, you just go. And I see this with a lot of people. I mean, even outside of the gym, I mean, you have people who do public speaking, and they tell you they've done it for years and years, and to this day, before they get on the stage, they have this small panic attack that they go through, and then they go, and you won't even know that they had a panic before they went up. I feel like that's the same, kind of the same situation. Like, I've been going to the gym for 10 years, and right now I know what I'm doing, more or less, but I still feel like that little internal feeling of, okay, we're going to the gym now, let's go. And then again, I get there and khalas, like, I forget about the fear, I focus, and then after the gym I feel great, and I'm ready to do it again the next day and the next day and the next.
I'm going to add a little tip number 3 to that then from what you've just told me. I feel like it's like getting the outside of your mind and into your body just to take action.
Yeah, 100%.
And there's ways that you could potentially do that with either giving yourself less time to think about the gym, which getting it done first thing in the morning time.
Yeah.
So then you don't build that anxiety, because some people, they tend to prolong the gym. They've been planning to go to the gym at 9 a.m. in the morning time, and it's 6 p.m. and they're still like, oh yeah, I'll go later. And you're just prolonging the stress, the anxiety that you're having. And it's creating that gap to fill in with all the excuses and to have that kind of anxiety around actually going.
Yeah.
So any other tips you would add in terms of how to minimize that anxiety?
I mean, aside from like thinking of your goal, just trying to think of it this way. I mean, I'm going to the gym to work on something, and I might have anxiety going, but there's also so many people at the gym who also probably feel the same way. So don't, like, what I like to say to myself, at least, is it's never that serious. You know, I'm going to the gym, I'm going to go do my workout. You're going to go to the gym, you're going to do your workout, and the other 50 people that are also in the gym are there to do their workout. And I'm pretty sure everyone in the gym thinks that, okay, this person's looking at me, they're judging me. Are they looking, did I do something wrong? Am I embarrassing myself? So I like to think that it's not just me that has those thoughts. Everyone around me is having the same thoughts. So with that in my head, it's like, okay, khalas, so if they're thinking about this and I'm thinking about this, then let them worry about it, and I'm just going to worry about myself, and I'm just going to focus on how I'm going to do. And if I do something wrong at the gym, again, it's not that serious. I laugh it out. If I dropped a dumbbell, or if I set up the machine wrong, or the weight was too heavy and I'm trying to pull and I literally cannot pull it down, I don't think of it of, okay, shit, I did something wrong, let me get my things and I'll leave. No, I just sit there, okay, it's a laughable situation. You don't know what you're doing. I'll open my phone, I'll open YouTube, or I'll ask somebody that's next to me that knows what they're doing. So take it more of like I want to say social interaction, even if someone is not a social person, but just don't go there with the thought of everyone's looking at you and everyone's judging you, because honestly, everyone at the gym is looking at themselves.
Yeah.
They're taking their pictures, they're taking their videos, they're checking themselves out in the mirror, and they're focused on how they can better their physique or their health or their routine. So just focus on yourself, focus on your goal, don't take it seriously, and just enjoy it. I mean, it's a beautiful process when you start that journey, and when you get the courage to actually start it. That in itself is such a great step for you to, appreciate that you did that for yourself, and then you just go with it, I feel.
So go with the approach that nobody cares.
Yeah, like nobody cares.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares whether you're going to do an awkward squat or a push-up, but they'll care if you get injured, I'm sure.
Yeah. I mean, what's nice also is that a lot of the people at the gym are actually friendly people. Like there are so many times when I'd be at the gym and let's say I would do a wrong move and someone would very nicely just approach me and be like, oh, there's a better way to do this. And again, it's up to you. If you don't want to talk to anybody, you can just keep your headphones and just look away and continue. But it's a more friendly environment than people think it is. Because some people think, okay, gym, it's intimidating. Everyone's mean, aggressive, and no one wants to talk to you. And if you don't look like you know what you're doing, no one's gonna be nice to you. But it's not the case. Like there are a lot of nice people at the gym who are there to, one, socialize, because it's like an adult playground, I would say. And two, they're very helpful people. I mean, if it's not the trainer helping you, there's people that might be sitting next to you as you do a shoulder press and you might have done like an overextension or you might have arched your back too much, and they'll just look at you and say, by the way, just careful, you don't want to hurt your back. And you'll just be like, oh, okay, thank you, I didn't know that. And then you correct yourself. And then with time, if you get better, you can correct others in a nice way. Obviously, you're not sitting there like critiquing everybody's moves, but
okay, I'm gonna pull you on this now. How do you think it's well received, right, as a female in the gym, if someone comes over and corrects you?
It depends. So I feel like you would know the person's intent as they approach you. There are very interesting characters.
Not everyone thinks like you.
There's a way to deliver a message, right? I mean, it's like if we're having a normal conversation, I might say something that's funny, but you might not interpret it in that way. So it's the same thing in the gym. If you do want to take the step to help somebody at the gym, before you just outright go to them and just tell them what you want to say, think of it like, is this going to be like something that this person is going to appreciate, or does this person seem like they don't want to be talked to? So it's also kind of like the approach that you have, which I feel is very important. But obviously, in that
state, I think people are just reactive and they just want to go over and help or whatever. So they don't actually think of, oh, how would this person feel, Because we're having a conversation like this now and we're analysing it, we can kind of take a step back and think about it. What do you think would be helpful if there's a female that's in the gym right now and, say, quote unquote, a male wants to go and approach her to tell her that her form is incorrect? How do you think she would feel?
I think he shouldn't approach. No, I'm just kidding. Look, it's a very tricky and sensitive topic, because being a woman in the gym in itself is already like, I feel like it's already something that's a big step, because it's a very male dominated playground, and a lot of the times you might be like the only woman there, or there might be like some other woman somewhere else, like very far off in the gym, and you might feel uncomfortable and you might feel comfortable. I mean, it's a personal, feeling. But I mean, I've been corrected by men at the gym, and some of them were actually like very nice, and they just didn't step, on any toes, as they say. And the way that I would react also helps. I mean, if I'm there focused and I look angry, no one's gonna approach me. And if I'm just like there and doing my moves and I'm having a good day, I might seem approachable. And I really think it's just an approach, the way that it's approached. But I mean, you can't really control it, if someone's gonna come up to you, whether it is to correct you or hit on you, let's say, you can only control how you react to it. You can't control them coming or not.
Which was the first gym that you ever attended then? Where was it? What was the location?
The first gym was in Abu Dhabi, actually. And
sorry, I never actually asked you this, but where did you grow up?
I grew up here. So I grew up in Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
I moved with my family back in 2001. So
wow.
Very long time ago. And yeah, so everything related to my fitness life started over there. The gym we went to was the Health and Fitness Club. So it was like one of the main gyms there. There wasn't, because like now there's so many gyms and there's way too many gyms right now. Before it was like very specific clubs that would have like at least nice, decent gyms to go to. And I remember there wasn't that many people my first day at the gym. There were probably like 6 others that were working out. And the coach was there, and because I was much younger than the rest of the people, the coach was just there to make sure that I don't hurt myself, because I looked very confused. Like I walked in and I was like, what do I do? Where do I go? And then the coach asked me, it's like, is it your first time? And I'm like, yeah, I don't know what to do. And then the coach guided me. So I feel like going to the gym for the first time, if you can spot the coach and just ask them, can you help me? Then that also makes things easier for you.
It can help with the gym intimidation.
Yeah, exactly.
How do you find the difference in between female gym intimidation and male gym intimidation? Do you think females suffer more than males do? I know I'm cornering you with this question now.
I want to say yes, but I also want to say no, because also from at least the men in my life that I go to the gym with, like whether it's like my brother, my fiance, my friend, if they go to a gym and everyone in the gym is like ripped and like buff and just grunting and screaming, they also look at the gym, they're like, damn, like everyone's so well built and I don't look like them, like I need to really get it together. So I feel like both male and female gym goers have their own kind of intimidation that they go through at the gym. I mean, I think that it's also kind of a way to like motivate you, because like if you're going to a gym and everyone around you is like super athletic and like ripped and like you want to kind of be like, okay, like they're so fit, they're so healthy, like I want to do that, I want to lift as much as they do. I mean, even if we're doing weights, male or female, like if I'm like personally, if I'm next to a guy at the gym and we're doing the same moves, I subconsciously want to lift heavier, because I want to seem like I'm stronger. And it's vice versa. Like I feel like it's a healthy kind of
motivation to push you
there.
Push you further.
Yeah, like if you're there and you're not really feeling like the weight and you're doing bicep curls and you're like, oh, I can barely lift it, and then someone comes next to you with heavier weight and they're like going at it, you're like, oh, okay, like I want to do that, and you just take a heavier weight and you go. So it's intimidation, it's motivation, it's a bit of everything. It's like a cocktail of emotion.
Yeah, I think it's like when you get past the step of intimidation, that's when the motivation unfolds.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes people don't allow themselves to have that chance to experience that competitive side, to give them that extra push in order to go on their fitness journey. So I think that's where the gateway, if you can push through the gateway and just take that next step, then you can really feel the beauty of actually being in that environment of people working hard. It's infectious.
Yeah.
How was your first experience in the gym in terms of the gym culture? Did you feel like there was a separation in between males and females here, especially because obviously you were in Abu Dhabi?
Yeah, I mean, right in the beginning, there wasn't much of I wouldn't call it much of a separation, but like kind of like the equipment of the gym was very different. So back in the day, the women's gym was very basic and very tiny. Like you'd have like a treadmill, an elliptical, and a few light weights in the gym for women goers, and you can have your own area. Now it's very different. So now if you go to a mixed gym, most of them, if not all of them, have a fully equipped women's gym, like somewhere completely separate in the same building. So if you don't want to go to the mixed gym, you can go to the women's gym. And there are now full-on gym facilities that are just for women. So that wasn't a thing back then. Like, I speak like I'm 60, but like back in the day.
I feel you because even I'm from Ireland, right?
Yeah.
And we used to have like one tiny little section, rarely, very rarely, but in big facilities that would have the females room, but it was so tiny. It was not, I would say the importance level was, I would say 50% lower than the rest of the gym, let's say, because they just didn't have the resources at the time. But now I think it's so mainstream and westernized to actually have a female facility which holds the same level of importance as a men's facility as well.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, now if you go to the gym, I mean, back then the women's section of the gyms, the mixed gyms at least, they weren't really priority because I don't know, maybe they thought, no, okay, men go to the gym more than women, so let's focus on that. And if the women don't want to work out in the mixed gym, oh, they have their treadmill and they could do their cardio. But now it's become like, it's a full on like focus. And no, you know, we want to power lift, we want to weight lift, we want to sculpt, we want to bulk, we want to shred, we want to do everything. And we can. And it's fair for us to also have our own gym, because let's say if I want to go to the gym and I want to squat, maybe I don't want to stand in the middle of the gym at the squat track with like everyone around me staring at me, or someone wanting to position themselves right behind me as I squat. Like, maybe I don't want to feel that. Maybe I want to go to a section where it's as equipped and I just want to be surrounded by women who are not going to stare at me or make me feel uncomfortable. And I just want to squat and I want to enjoy it. I don't want to worry about, okay, let me wait for this person to pass from behind me so that I can do my next set. So I feel like gymming now is so much easier than it was back then, because there are so many different alternatives for people. I go to a mixed gym right now, but sometimes if I go to the gym and it's very packed and maybe there's like too many men and there's not enough equipment, I'll take my stuff, I'll go to the women's section and I'll just train there, finish my training, and I'll leave. I mean, it's the women's section of a gym is not there just, okay, you don't want to do a mixed gym, go to the women's section. No, it's there because, let's say if this part is filled and you're used to going to the mixed gym, you have an option. And if you're someone who does not want to be in a mixed gym, you also have that option, and it's fully equipped for you to be able to do whatever workout you want to do. So now, as you were saying, like, that is now very available, it's very there, it's well equipped, and it just accommodates for every type of workout that you might possibly want to do.
As a female in the gym, do you feel like you're well respected in a male dominant gym in terms of sharing equipment? Like, do you think sometimes, have you experienced any guys being disrespectful?
Yes and no. Yes, because, by default, if you're going to a male-dominated area, first experience as a woman is obviously, I feel, is like, oh, okay, like, it's a woman coming into our zone. Let's try to make her feel welcome and comfortable. But when that's the kind of thought that's there, it makes you more uncomfortable than comfortable.
What makes you uncomfortable in that position?
I mean, don't look at me like I'm a woman in a man's gym. I'm coming to work out just like you're coming to work out. So I might lift heavier than you. So don't think that, oh, here you go. You want to do a 6 kg shoulder press. Here you go. Like, no, what if I want to do 15 kg shoulder press? Like I want to do my workout. Like, just because I am half your size doesn't mean I'm not powerful. Like, so many times, for example, I'd be going to the gym and I'm going to the dumbbell section, and okay, I'm warming up with like light weights, and then I could see them looking and no, okay, she's using light weights, and then the second that you hit a heavy weight, the look completely shifts. Like, it goes from oh, cute, like she's doing light weights, to, oh, damn, like she can lift heavy. Like, that shift is always there. Like, even if you see on social media, if there's a video of a girl, let's say, deadlifting, and she's doing a warm-up, and then some guy just looks at her funny, and then she piles on like plates on plates on plates, and then she lifts it, and everyone's face is like, God, Like, did you see her? Did you see what she just did? So I feel like that misconception of, oh, she's a girl, she's not gonna live ta vie, needs to kind of die.
Yeah.
Like that can just go, because I mean, if I want to lift heavy, I'll lift heavy. If I want to lift lightweight, I'll lift lightweight. But don't try to make me feel like I cannot lift as heavy as you, or I'm here to just do cardio, or خلاص, my workout is my workout. Just go do your thing. I'll do my thing. Don't assume anything that I'm gonna do, and I'm not gonna assume anything you're gonna do. I mean, if it's a full group of women at the gym and a guy walks in, they're not gonna be like, oh yeah, he's gonna come and lift weights and grunt and throw the خلاص, he's gonna come and do his thing, and they're gonna live their own life. So I feel like that should just be the case. We're all here to train. Let it be.
I know you mentioned earlier that the gym is like a adult's playground. In that playground, have you had any situations that, you felt like you were bullied, quote unquote bullied, or disrespected, or a kiss chase scenario? Do you have any examples of this happening ever in your whole gym journey that you've been on? Because it's a decade, I'm sure you've had some stories to tell.
I mean, there's the typical example of you getting hit on at the gym. I'm here to work out. Like, don't hit on me, I mean, some people, like, it's a way to meet people. You can go to the gym, you can socialize, you can meet people, but you can clearly see who's there to socialize and who's there to just focus on their workouts and who's there to just not talk to anybody. And I haven't experienced it recently, because I feel like it's become more common knowledge that, don't get into anybody's bubble when they're in the zone.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, it was very like, oh, it's a cute girl. Let's go talk to her. And like, I don't want to talk to you. Like, leave me alone. Just go away. So I feel like that is also something that taps into like the discomfort of being at the gym when it's a mixed gym or a male dominated gym, because you never know like who's gonna think that let me try.
How does that make you feel? Like, would that stop you from going to the gym?
It has once, because there was someone was very persistent and like, I'm not interested, move on. And they were going to my gym and I was going there as well, and once, twice, and then third time, like, okay, خلاص, I don't want to put myself in that situation anymore. I'm just gonna go to another gym. And me having to do that, I felt was, I didn't like that, because طب خلاص, I want to go work out. Like, I told you I'm not interested. Just leave me alone. Unfortunately, that can happen, and it's annoying, but it didn't stop me from working out. I just changed locations, or I changed my timing, or whatever.
But you shouldn't have to do that,
I know.
As a female, you shouldn't have to do that.
Yeah, I know that. But, sometimes it's easier to just remove yourself from a situation than to go and put yourself in it over and over again. In this specific case, I was so uncomfortable, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to let this person ruin my workout experience. So I changed my timing, and I changed the gym, and at some point I did go back to that gym. He was no longer there, but maybe if I had, let's say, informed the gym instructors or the receptionist or something, and I could have said like, okay, this person is kind of annoying, can you do something about it? But also, like, I feel like age also plays a role. Like, I was very young, so I was young, I was a bit new to the environment, so I wasn't as comfortable or confident as I am now. But to say that situation doesn't happen, I'm sure it happens, and it's happening, and people deal with it, but having to deal with it is the annoying part, which, again, you can't control it, because you can only control your reaction. You don't know how others are going to react, what others are going to want to do or say. But definitely, if I were to do it differently, I would have gone to the trainer and pointed that guy out and been like, this guy's bothering me a lot, and I'm here to do my workout, so do something about it.
often when you just mentioned there that you felt like you were young, you know, that maybe you were young, you were a little bit more naive or lacked confidence in terms of actually standing your ground in that position. I think sometimes you need to remind yourself when you're in that position that it's like, if I don't actually stop this now, he's going to do it to 10 other people.
Exactly.
And you hold the power in actually making that change. Or maybe he might not learn his lesson. Who knows?
You never know. Persistency is key.
But I always see, like, when a guy is like this in the gym, he's probably asked 50 other women and they've gone along with it, you know, or he is mega confident and he's willing to take 50 no's.
Yeah, I mean, just tone down your confidence, sir, you know, but I really think that, yes, the way that you do deal with it will change. I mean, I'm not saying that every time you go to the gym, someone's going to hit on you. No, but if that was to happen, just you adjust how you deal to things. I mean, it's like if you go to a restaurant or a club or a bar, you're bound to get approached one way or another, and you just know how to deal with it. It's the same thing at the gym. If you don't want to interact, you shut it down. If they persist, you complain to somebody that has the power to remove them. And if they persist a lot, you just leave. And that's my approach. I'd rather just, I don't want to deal with you, and I leave.
What other things intimidate you about the gym?
New equipment.
Oh, I love this subject, right? Because I was a personal trainer for like 7 years, and still to this day, like still there's new equipment in the gym and you're not going to know every single piece of equipment. It's like, for an example, we all know what a phone is, but when a new phone that comes out, you're not going to know all how it functions, you know? So it's like gym equipment. So gym equipment is becoming so diverse that you even have weights for your index finger, you know? Like it's just
crazy.
So it's crazy. Impossible. So I actually would love to reframe that for anyone who's going to the gym right now, that if you don't know how something works, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to, like, you know, be, per se, the idiot in the room. It's okay. It's okay. Because it means that you're about to learn something new. It's good. Invite being the newbie in the gym, or the newbie with this piece of equipment, because you're just about to learn something. I think that's something to not be afraid of. And actually, if you're intimidated, like, okay, well, the way to prescribe that intimidation, to be able to heal that intimidation, is to figure it out and actually actively go through the movement and get the support that you need on that.
Exactly. And don't take it too seriously. It's not that serious.
Yeah.
You'll try, you'll figure it out. I mean, so many times I'd go to a new machine because out of curiosity, I'm like, oh, what does this do? Because it just looks strange and I've never seen it before. And you just try to look at the manual that's like printed on the side. You try to find it online. You might not find it online, but you know, you try. And then you try to like wait for someone to use it. And you try to like see what did they do? What did they touch? What did they pull? And then worst case, you try it. You don't know how to do it. You laugh it out. You walk away and you wait for someone else to jump in, or just ask somebody for help if they've used it.
In this case of a scenario, I always say, like, if you don't really know the equipment very well as well, be a spectator from the treadmill. Like, look around. And I think gyms need to design their treadmills to be actually like around it, not out looking outside the window, because the window's not going to help you when you don't know how to use the machine. So I think it's like treadmills, if you're stood on a treadmill, you can, you know, creep around the gym and see what's around, and, you know, plan your next move then to kind of digest that anxiety that you might be experiencing, to get that comfort, and then you can execute then the main course, which is lifting or whatever it is.
Exactly.
What other things would intimidate you about the gym?
If it's a gym that I'm new to, just it being new, because I wouldn't know where the equipment are, so that having to like walk around, and because when you walk around in the gym not knowing where to go, you people can tell like you don't know what's where.
I always think own that. I think
just
own it.
Around the gym.
But own it that you're like, oh, checking that machine out. Yeah, it's my first day, you know, so let me be the idiot and the newbie because I'll just make it look like it is.
So what I do in this situation, if it's a new gym, so when I register, I like to kind of have a tour of the gym. So I tell the reception, I'm like, oh, you know, can I have a tour before, just so I know? And then we do the full tour, and I kind of like eye everything that I wanna use the next day. And then when I go to the gym, I kind of know where to go. But I feel like the biggest intimidation factor is if it's a new environment to me, if it's too crowded, and if what else? New gym, crowded, not enough balance of male to female ratio. But to that, I say there's so many alternatives. Like at the gym where I go to now, when I go and if it's peak hour and I don't want to just wait for someone to finish their set or have to push through men to kind of get my weights, I take my stuff, I go to the women's section, do my workout, and I leave. So I feel like it's a case-on-case situation, right? So you either can stay there and wait, or if you're just there, you really want to finish, you have 10 minutes left of your workout, you don't want to wait 15 minutes for this guy to finish, khalas, you go to the other section, you get it done. And the gyms are better equipped now than they were when I first started. I mean, now you can have like 3 different machines for the same thing. And then you can have 5 different racks of different weights. And you have so many squat racks. You have so many machines, so many equipment. So I feel like now it's very rare to not have something available for you if someone else is using it, which also makes the gym experience better. So you're not having to ask a stranger, sorry, how many sets do you have left? Because some people might not even want to ask. They might feel like maybe they have social anxiety and they don't want to speak to a stranger. So now that kind of is put aside because there's different options for you to use from. And if they're all full, go to the treadmill, be a spectator, and just wait for them to be empty.
How do you think the gym culture is changing over the years from, like, say, back in the day, you'd like to say, to now? Like, what's your experience with the gym culture now? Do you like the direction and how the gym culture is going in?
Yes
right
and
now?
no.
Yeah. Okay. So let's take the positives first.
The yes is that I feel like people are more welcoming to the gym. So if you're maybe not feeling your best, you're not looking your best, you're not having a day where you feel so confident, I feel like now at the gym it's less judgy.
More accepting, yeah.
People just accept you for who, I mean, if you want to show up to the gym in your pajamas, there are literally people in their pajamas with their Crocs in the gym. If you want to show up wearing a full outfit, having a full glam face and your hair is done, you can go do that. No one bats an eye. I mean, you'll get complimented by other women or men at the gym because you're like looking amazing.
I think this is very different though in every country, right? Because I would suggest that Dubai is such a diverse place with 80% of expats all around the world who can be and express themselves for whoever they want to be. Yeah. Because they're not in their home comforts anymore, so they can just express and be whoever they want. Where as opposed to my home country, if you were to come in your Crocs and your pajamas, it would not be well accepted. And I think there's a slight difference in terms of actually the demographics of where we are in the gym. But anyway, to add to that, the positives to the gym culture here is that it's accepted.
Yeah. I mean, obviously you need to adapt to whatever gym or country you're visiting to, you know. But at least for here, it's honestly, it's a blessing. You can go however way you feel comfortable and you can do your workout and khalas, you just move on with your day.
This is what I love about the UAE.
This is the plus of the gym. The no's that I've been seeing a lot now, which has actually become like laughable online, is the number of tripods in the gym. So like you go to the gym and it's like a studio. Yani, I mean, okay, I'm guilty. I do film myself sometimes, but I don't get my whole tripod. Like I'll put my phone on my bottle somewhere where it doesn't bother anyone. And a lot of people do that. They have their tripods, but they set it in a way that, you know, I'm not gonna put it in the middle of the gym so that whoever needs to pass, I need to be like, I'm sorry, I'm filming. But no, like it's we need to walk to get to our second location at the gym. So
I'm so sorry, but I was the tripod lady. I was the tripod lady, and I think, do you know what, I really lacked self-confidence when I first went on my fitness journey because I was 26 kilos heavier than what I am now.
No way, that's amazing.
So to get to the stage of being confident with the tripod was like my trophy.
It's like, I'm here. But I'm sure you wouldn't put it in the middle of the gym.
It was just to help my online clients lose weight. That was the way I was framing it. It wasn't to be posy, or it wasn't to, I was looking at it from good intentions.
Yeah.
But not to actually annoy people in the gym as well. You need to respect the people that are around you by all means.
Exactly.
It would be in the gym when no one was around half the time. But yeah, so.
Yeah, there are people who they're gonna have their tripods. Like, we will film ourselves to see, maybe you want to see your form, maybe you make a living out of this and you want to post it online. But my pet peeve is the ones that will put it in the most unnecessary place, where they stop the movement of others, and then they give attitude because others want to pass.
This is the thing, attitude.
Exactly. So like, you want to use your tripod, sure, don't disrupt, because if you have your tripod and I have my tripod, I'm going to accommodate to where you're going to set yours, you'll accommodate to mine. But if you're going to put your tripod and act like you're the only tripod in the gym.
Okay, so then how do you feel the attitude is, what kind of direction is the whole gym attitude going in? Do you like where it's going?
I don't know. I mean, I like the part of everyone's more comfortable, more welcoming. They're less, at least the gym where I go to, no one's in your business. You can go do your workout unbothered, like no one can approach you. Life is great. And you can go and have the social aspect of the gym as well. But for me, I feel like it needs to continue to be a gym and not turn into a studio, because then that will add a whole new level, I feel, of intimidation and anxiety for people, because then it's like, oh, okay, are we all supposed to come in all glammed up with our cameras so we can take our workouts? Because then it's going to be like, oh, everyone is recording everything and I'm the only one that's not recording. Am I out of place now? So I feel like just making sure that it doesn't become very, I'm here to pose and film, and I'll put my tripod here in the middle of the gym and no one needs to pass here, and if you pass, I'm going to give you attitude. I feel like if it shifts into that, it becomes the complete opposite of what a gym is, which is a social playground for people to go train and zen out of life and then come back.
From your own experience, do you think females are being very supportive in the gym industry now?
I really do feel so, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, having our own fully equipped facilities on its own speaks volumes, because we do want to use everything and anything. And I do feel like now, in terms of, respect in the gym, kind of, I want to be in my space, no one invade my space. I feel like that's become more understandable, and people aren't going to perceive it in any way. Yani, if a girl walks into the gym now, she walks into the gym, she does her workout and she leaves, at least where I go. She's not going to be, I mean, you might get stared at for a second, but fine. We're at the gym. Someone might be looking at your gains. Like, if you see someone like that's all buffed and whatever, you're going to look and be like, oh, damn, like, that's a lot of muscle. Like, that's so cool. But I feel like that level of crossing boundaries is not there anymore, because people respect that, okay, you have your space, I have mine, I don't want to overstep here. So I feel like that's become more and more known than it was back in the day.
Where would you like to see the gym culture go in the next 10 years in terms of females, being female focused on this?
I feel like it should be more talked about in terms of, gymtimidation or anxiety at the gym, specifically on social media. I don't feel like it's very talked about. I feel like most of the content online is, here's how I do my workout, or here's what my day looked like, or here's the best, let's say, glute workout, or here's how you can get shredded abs. But I really don't feel like there's been enough content to highlight, if you're a first-time goer at the gym, it's normal to feel anxious, it's normal to feel intimidated, it's normal to feel uncomfortable. here's how I crossed that, and I made the gym an enjoyable experience for myself, and I moved away from that negative. It's so yeah, I don't think it's talked about more. I feel like if we can bring that out a bit more, so not just focus on the workout and the best thing to grow your quads or your glutes or your back or your bicep, but also it's probably the first time for a lot of people to go to the gym. Don't worry, it's normal. Here are some tips to help you get familiar with the staff there. Go with a friend. Don't think about what others are going to think about you. You're there to work out for yourself. So I feel like if that gets highlighted even more, it would help a lot of people take that step and grow the community even more. Because if you do look at it, honestly, the gym community is such a great one, because you're literally going to better your health. I mean, aside from the aesthetics, you want to shred, bulk, whatever it is, but ultimately when you work out, when you train, whether it's a group class or a gym, you're training to better your health, to feel better, to maybe get your mind off of things. So that, because it has so many pluses, that needs to be kind of the focus, because yes, you might feel anxiety, but at the end of it, maybe your anxiety will get better. Maybe you will feel less anxious. Maybe you will feel more comfortable and confident that, you know, okay, wow, I felt amazing. Why was it a fearful thing for me? Oh, I heard person XYZ talk about how it was fearful for them, but they're doing fine. I can do it. So shedding light on that, I feel, is also as important as showing, if you work out, you can look like this, or if you work out, you will achieve this. So taking that step and highlighting that is, I feel, so important as well.
I think it's really important to identify who you're following as well, to be able to dilute that gym intimidation as well, because like you said, following fitness influencers who are just showing how to grow your glutes, how to look this way, 10-minute abs, all this kind of stuff as well, can impact the fact that maybe you're not at that stage, you're not at that level. So when you go to the gym, you might be feeling, well, I'm not the per se fitness influencer, I don't look like this, and that actually might impact or grow that gym intimidation that females are actually feeling. What was super helpful for me when I went through my body transformation was actually following fitness people who were going through the same journey.
Yeah.
And that was my evidence to show that actually, do you know what, like, these people are kind of doing it, I can do it as well. Because I think it's really it's irrelevant to compare yourself to someone who is 10 steps ahead. It's not a good read. It's not a good comparison. I would always say choose someone who's in the same pool as you and continue to work off that as well, because the comparison is that's what can sometimes make people feel overwhelmed and not take that step then to actually go on the gym floor.
And it can also, like, excuse me, it could also demotivate you. So if you're going to compare yourself to somebody online, which we are exposed to, but when you do that, if you don't achieve it, let's say in a week or a month, you're going to get demotivated and you're going to be like, oh, okay, I'm never going to look like that. But then, as you said, it's you shouldn't compare. You should use it as a motivator to be like, this person transformed and this was their transformation. It's not going to be my transformation, because mine is going to be different, because everybody's different, you know? So following people that are similar to your case is definitely better than just following the random people there. But also knowing and being true to yourself that this is what they experience, this is their transformation. I'm gonna have my transformation, but it's gonna be a different one. It's not gonna, like, if I follow you, you follow me. If you do 10 squats today and you look different tomorrow, I might do 10 squats today and I look the same tomorrow. So every physical body is different, every experience is different.
Do you think social media has an influence on intimidating people then?
So much. I mean, there is so much content online that's being pushed there and shoved down our throats, and unconsciously you are scrolling through, and even if you don't let it affect you, but you are ingesting all of this content as you're online. So you might subconsciously have an image in your head that you want to achieve, and that person who achieved it might not have I don't know, done it realistically or whatever the case. But social media is there. We cannot avoid it. It's there. It's part of our lives. But what's important is that it shouldn't affect us negatively. I mean, with everything in life, there's always a good and a bad, right? And it's just the way that you deal with it that can either make or break the approach. So look at social media, yes. Look at the six-pack of this person. Look at the glutes of that person. Look at the shoulders of this person. But look at it in a way of, I would like to try and achieve something similar that is attainable for me, not of a, oh my God, they look so good, I'm never gonna look like that. So the whole narrative of how you let social media affect you, I think really needs to be fixed. Yani,
Yeah.
look at social media, try to get motivated and not demotivated or intimidated by it because this person looks perfect and you maybe don't look as perfect as they do in your eyes.
To summarize our whole conversation on all of this, what are the 3 main tips then that you'd give a female in particular who's suffering from gym anxiety? What are the 3 tips that you'd give her?
It's never that serious.
I love this.
Never that serious. I really think just focus on why you're starting it.
So creating the goal bigger than the fear.
Yes. So the reason that you took the decision to start the gym, that is your because. It's not the fear will be there no matter what, whether you're going to the gym, you're starting something new, you're meeting new people, you're traveling or whatever it is. There's always a fear aspect, but yes, having your goal be stronger, bigger than anything, push yourself to it, and then be proud of yourself, because when you do take that step, you took a step and you pushed your fear aside and you did it. So
I'll give number 3 then, celebrating your wins.
Yes, exactly. So these are our 3 tips. But yeah, those are 100%. Just focus on yourself. It's never that serious, and be proud of what you're achieving.
Thanks, Laura. I really appreciate this conversation, and I hope it helps all our females who are out there who suffer from gym anxiety, because even as a personal trainer and after 7 years, I still experience it, and so do you. So it's normal, it's natural, but the more you do it, the more you're going to get better at it, and the less you'll be inside your mind.
Exactly.
So thank you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. Yay.